in a little bit of space. Then shoot the arm all the way through, cut the shoulder, bring your chin, and only now do I let go of my left hand and start to look for options. If his head's low, again, I'm pushing his head down, getting the chest over the top, or previous options. Cool. Alright guys, so now we're going to be dealing with a thumb post, right? So thumb post is a very effective way of stopping the leg entries, right? If I just scoop for my partner's leg, let's say I get a leg entry, if he blocks my head, okay, he's very committal, so that's the mistake in that I can go for the arm. If he just posts his arm and explores his leg, I can always duck under that arm and start to attack the leg, okay? But if he takes a thumb post, I can't really duck under this anymore. Okay, and I can't attack the shoulder, so need a good option for the thumb post. So when I start to pull myself in, the thumb post becomes less and less effective, right? If he was to thumb post once I was already underneath him, so let's say I was already here, now he thumb post, it's not really going to do the job of keeping me away, right? It's only good for keeping me away. He's not going to be able to bench press me and slide me away from him across the floor. So he needs to get the thumb post early, right? And he needs to commit strength to it to stop me from getting into his leg. So we're going to use that, right? As I come in and try and attack his legs, I feel myself being blocked from his arm. I'm going to move away. You can see like you can off balance him slightly, make his elbow come away from his body. Now, when I move away, right, I'm much easier able to slap this wrist down and away from the shoulder and get this drag grip again, okay? So once you get the drag grip, if your partner just tightens up their elbow, we're again looking to go all the way through with our hand and then start to work our arm settle grips. So one more time, he shoulder post, maybe reach for the leg, you have your thumb post yourself, he shoulder post, I reach, I move away enough that the grip starts slipping. Now I'm going to slap with just my wrist, right? And the same thing with this side. Again, we're just going to go with our wrist. If you go with your hand, it's going to be too easy for him to rip away. So you slap with the wrist, and then from here, most of the time, see my hand is already angled here, I can just pull myself in straight away and then start to look for a 2-on-1 grip again on the shoulder, bring the knee in front of the face, etc. to try and get Choi bar or other finishes. Okay. Alright guys, so we're going to be looking at the Choi bar now. So just like a basic way to enter the Choi bar that I like to use. Works pretty well. So any of the previous entries wrap. So it could be the wrist grab one. I quite like this one. Go for the wrist, he pulls his elbow tight, shoot your arm elbow deep, and we connect our 2 grips. So now, if my partner tries to hug this leg, right, which is a very common reaction, and especially if they bring their head down, right? So they know the danger of the Choi bar, that if I swing my leg over the top, I can start to isolate this arm. So they tend to hold onto the arm really tight, hold onto the leg really tight, or do some sort of variation of this. Maybe they're just holding the shin, or like scooping the leg, or all these kind of things. The only time I wouldn't go for the Choi bar is if they bring their shoulder all the way over my knee. Okay, we've already done that. That's when we're looking at shoulder crunch variations, where you take your partner out, or if they try and pull out, you can look for the arm bar. That's what I did. So we're here. I managed to get a grip on my partner's shoulder or elbow, okay, and I'm looking, and he's driving in, right? So he doesn't want my leg to come out wide. If he's not holding your leg at all, okay, I can just throw my leg over the top and look to pass it all the way through in front of my partner's belly, right? That was a poor example, so don't use that. But yeah, let's say we're here. He's driving in, right, and he's trying to stop me from getting this leg over the top. I'm gonna pull in tight with my grip. I'm gonna use my left elbow on his chin, just to bring my knee in front of his face, right? Sometimes you don't need to use your elbow. Like here, I could just basically bring my knee in front of the face. If he's really pressuring into me, now I need to use my elbow and flare just enough to bring my knee in front of his face. Very common reaction here is someone holding your shin. So let's say we're here and he's holding my shin, right? He's not very committal. If I just try and kick my leg over and free, he's just gonna block it out here and I'm not gonna be able to get it free, okay? So if they're holding it like with a downward facing grip, I need to push his head all the way down and swing it over the top. So I get my knee in front of his jaw. Then I need to get more of my knee past his head. So I bring my knee even further up. So now I can use the top of my knee to push down on his head and scoop my hips away. Okay, so you start in here, I get the grip, I bring my knee in front of his face, scoop my hips away. Now I'm pushing down and inwards on my partner's head. So I need to get his posture broken. See there, I can like lift my hips off the floor using that knee pinch, okay? So that's the kind of pressure that you want to push your partner's head down to the floor. So we still have our grip here. I managed to push his head down to the floor. He might still be holding onto my shin here, right? With the same grip. So at this point, I can just extend my leg and he's gonna lose his grip. See that, it's like an Americano basically. If his head is up, okay, you can just hold onto that grip if I kick it, just normal grip. Yeah, he can just hold on to the grip, right? If I push his head down, now he tries to hold on. I can just Americana his arm out there, okay? So once we get the arm clear and our leg over the top, first thing I tend to do, right, because sometimes people's arm is pretty close to the leg, I'll just pull his arm away from his leg. So ideally, I don't have to deal with the Kimura and my partner connecting his arms and all these extra defenses, right? Ideally, I've already completely separated the arm. So first thing I do, pull the arm away. Now my leg here that went over his head, I'm gonna chop in really tight to his armpit here and keep my knee open. So if my partner does feel like standing up and trying to run over the top of me, I use your legs. Yeah, then this knee is gonna prevent him from putting weight down on me. Go back a little bit. Okay, once I've got this and I feel like he's not moving, I'm gonna bring my head in and pinch my knee down to the floor. Okay, my aim here is to get my left foot hooking all the way through to my partner's far thigh. Okay, once you get that grip, now again, I'm looking for the thumb. One on the thumb, one on the wrist. I'm gonna extend my leg first, and it's gonna put more downward pressure on his shoulder. Then I'm gonna hamstring curl when I wanna finish to start to pull my butt in tight towards my partner's knee. Now I'm gonna start to push my partner's pinky over my left hip to get the finish. Okay, so again, over here. Okay, he might be framing any of the previous entries. Shoot through, I get my underhook, correct? I bring my hand in front of his face.